Excel Tutorial 7, pages 393 through 400. Okay, on page 393, it tells you to open the soccer workbook, do a file save as, use soccer, and then go to the receipt worksheet. So go ahead and get that done. And then I want you to read about naming cells and ranges and creating a defined name for a cell or range. And then we're going to go to the bottom of page 395 to create defined names for the input area using the name box. All right, on the receipt worksheet tab, select cell F13. Okay, here's F, here's 13. Then click the name box to the left of the formula bar. Okay, into the name box. Type season fee, and remember, there cannot be any spaces involved. Okay, season fee, and press your enter key. Cell F13 remains active, and season fee appears in the name box instead of the cell reference. See figure 7-2 on page 396. All right, on the top of page 396, step number 3, select cell F14. There's F and there's 14. Click in the name box and name it discount amount and press your enter key. Remember, no spaces. And always stop and check your spelling, because if you were to make a spelling error here, and this happens all the time in these assignments, then later when you go to reference it in a formula and you spell it correctly, you have a problem, don't you? Because it exists in a misspelled manner and not in the correct manner, and therefore when you type it in correctly, it won't exist. So always stop and check your spelling. All right, step number 4. Select the range D2 to F10. Okay, there's D2, and there's F10. Click the name box and type player measurements. And press your enter key. Okay, I'm just checking real quick by hitting that down pointing arrow, looking to see what I have. Remember, we can make this name box larger. Okay, so if it's truncated and you can't check your spelling, just grab it on the side, pull it to the right, and you'll be able to see the whole thing. All right, so we did player measurements. Number 6, select the range A40 to F40. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. Here's A40, here's F40. Go to your name box, name it transfer area. Always press your enter key, always check your spelling. Go to cell E33, there's E, there's 33. There's no grid lines on this, so you always want to look up. You can see I clicked in the wrong space. It says C33, and what we need is E33. Check it. Now I'm on the correct cell. And we want to name this receipt season fee. Receipt season fee. Always checking that spelling. All right, that's all of that area. Now let's take a look at selecting cells and ranges by their defined names. All right, step number 1 on the bottom of page 396, to select cells and ranges with the name box. Click the name box arrow to open a list of defined names in the workbook. Okay, so just going to hit that down pointing arrow. And then you're going to go, hey Kathy, there's only 5 up there. So that means I skipped a step, which I do with you guys constantly, because I'm always reading ahead. All right, I skipped step number 8. Shall we go back and do it? I think so. E34. Okay, E34, receipt discount amount. That's why I always tell you to stop and check everything, right? See discount amount, checking my spelling. Now we can go on and hit our name box and see that there's 6 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Press your escape key to close it. On the right side of the name box, they want you to drag it so you can see the full name, but I already asked you to do that. Those 3 dots right there. If you didn't do it, go ahead and drag it out so you can see every name and ensure it's spelled correctly. All right, hit that down pointing arrow, and you want to click season fee. When you do that, you'll just see that it moves your cursor right there, and that cell, season fee, is now the active cell, right? Very simple. Okay, click the name box, click on player measurements. See, its entire area is selected. Let's try them all. I'll just have you go through, make sure they work correctly. Okay. Just click each one of them, watch your cell become active. Okay, there you go. That's all we did, was just practice and make sure that they worked correctly. All right, creating defined names by selection on page 397. Please read that really quickly. It's actually very important. To create defined names by selection for the registration date, select the range A3 to B12. Column A contains the labels you want to use as the defined names, and column B contains the cells you want to name. Select only the range A3 to B12. Otherwise, formulas you create later in the tutorial will not work. All right, Control Home. So A3. All right, A3 to B12. Make sure you have it exactly. Okay. Again, A3. There's B12. So we're going to go A3 to B12. On the ribbon, click the Formulas tab. In the Defined Names group, which is right here, click the Create from Selection button. The Create Names from Selection dialog box opens. See Figure 7-4 on the bottom of page 397. Flip to page 398. Make sure only the left column checkbox contains a check mark. The labels in the left column will be used to create the defined names. Okay, so we've got both top row and left column, and it says make sure only the left column checkbox has a check mark. So we're going to turn off top row. Step number 5, click the OK button. Each cell in the range B3 to B12 is named based on its label in column A. For example, cell B3, let's go click on it, is named registration_date based on the registration date label in cell A3. Okay, because these had spaces in them, the spaces are replaced with the underscore. Click the name box arrow and see the 16 defined names in the list. Notice that underscores have replaced spaces in the names. Okay, press the escape key to close the list of defined names. Read about editing and deleting defined names, because I guarantee you at some point you will need to edit a name because you're going to make a spelling error. It just happens. So make sure you read this carefully because it will help you in the future. To edit and delete defined names with the Name Manager dialog box, on the Formulas tab in the Defined Names group, click the Name Manager button. Okay, Formulas tab, Defined Names group, Name Manager button. The Name Manager dialog box opens, listing the 16 defined names in the workbook. See Figure 7-5 on the bottom of page 398. And when you take a look at that figure, it's going to have a little explanation for what everything in this particular dialog box does, what its purpose is. So go ahead and look over each one of those. After you've done that, move to page 399, and we are going to start with step number 2. Click the Receipt Season Fee in the name list. Okay? Receipt Season Fee. And look, do you see how you can make this bigger so you can see the whole thing? You can just get on this separator right here. If it's too squished down too far, just pull it out until you can see all the names and they're not truncated. They're truncated when you see the ellipsis. A little bit more, there it is. Okay, so we clicked on Receipt Season Fee, and now we're going to click on the Edit button. The Edit Name dialog box opens. You can change the name and its referenced cells or range in this dialog box. Take a look at Figure 7-6 on 399. All right, step number 3. In the name box, we're going to change this to just Receipt Fee to create a shorter defined name. So type in Receipt Fee. That's all you have to do. Check that spelling, receipt fee. Okay, and then click OK. And you'll see it right there. So you just edited that name. Very easy, right? All right, step number 4. Repeat steps 2 and 3 to rename the receipt discount amount defined name as receipt discount. I'm always going to stop and check and make sure. Okay. Scroll down to find the transfer area name and click transfer area. Okay, use your slider bar. Okay, there's transfer area right there. Click the delete button. Okay, so we decided we don't want transfer area anymore, so we're going to click on delete. A dialog box is going to come up and say, are you sure you want to delete that selected name? Go ahead and click OK, and it's going to be removed. Repeat steps 5 and 6 to delete the player measurements name. There's player measurements, delete, yes, thank you. And by the way, you always want to read this and make sure the right name is here. Very easy to get one click off. Click the close button and the name manager dialog box closes. All right, using the paste names command, read that quick little paragraph, and then we're going to go on to create a list of the defined names in the documentation worksheet. Go to the documentation worksheet. In cell B10, okay, B10, enter defined names. Format that label with bold. Okay. Select cell B11. This is the upper left cell of the range where you want to paste the list of defined names. On the ribbon, click the Formulas tab. In the Defined Names group, click the Use in Formula button. The list includes all of the defined names in the workbook, followed by the Paste Names command. Click Paste Names. The Paste Names dialog box opens. You can paste any selected name, or you can paste the entire list of names. Flip to page 400. Click the Paste List button. The defined names and their associated cell references are pasted into the range B11 to C24. Deselect the range. See Figure 7-7. Only some names in the pasted list of defined names include underscores in place of spaces. The names with underscores were created using the Create from Selection button. You enter the names without underscores in the name box. Okay, so just take a look at Figure 7-7 and compare it to yours. And one of the things I want you to do is to look at this and be able to read this and know why there's an exclamation point and know why there are dollar signs and know what receipt is referring to. Okay, so make sure you can read these and you know what they mean. All right, go ahead and hit save because that's the end of this video and we're going to move on to the next one.